Alright, guys. I will post this partial key as well. Alright. For you to check your understanding, but if you need references to help you study, I have it listed. So the first section, 1 through 7, goes with the orange graphic organizer. That's the very first thing that we did in the unit, where you have to remember order matters and the markings matter. So if I'm going to find congruent to U, if I look right here, use the last letter, it matches up with the other last letter in the other triangle's name. So does everyone see how this answer is R? And we're done. There's no math. You're just reading the congruency statement. Now, for something like number 3, what are the congruent triangles? You have to pay attention to the order of your markings. This first one says triangle ABC. Well, if I trace that, that's not a triangle. That doesn't even exist. So that's not an answer choice. If I go to C, it says, what about AEB? Well, A to E to B, yes, that makes a triangle. And if I did that, I went through 2 tick marks, then 3, then 1. For it to be a congruency, it has to follow the same pattern. So if this is 2, 3, 1, sorry. Then if I check CBD, C to B, right there, right when I start off, that's a 1 tick mark. It does not match. When I trace the letters, it has to follow the same tick marks. Does that make sense? Okay, because you're definitely going to see something like that. We have to make sure it matches up right. So if I look at ABE, if I'm going from A to B to E, then that one, if I go in that order, that is a 1, 3, 2. 1 tick mark, then 3 tick mark, then back to 2 to get to A. Then if I do C, B, D, like that. Oh, I have a delay. I didn't realize. Then that follows the same pattern. C to B is 1 tick mark. B to, then it's 3, then it's 2. So the answer is a B. Something happened here. Hold on. What is that? Okay. Okay, on 4, match up the congruent parts using the statement. So they tell you in the statement, triangle TUV is congruent to TWV. So if I'm trying to find the value of X, what are the congruent parts?
3x plus 15.
Yeah, the 3x plus 15 right here, that's the UV. And that matches up with 75. So that's how you start it off. And then you just solve for X, because that's all they're asking. I have to turn it off. Again, on the last section, or 5 and 6, you need to match up the letters. So if I'm using the congruency statement, like if I start off to find this B, which is QX, QX matches up with JK. Let me extend my page, sorry. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I know there's a little delay, but match up your letters to the congruent part. So on number 6, angle Z, that's not showing. The Z matches up to M, and I can find the M because I have the 55 and 60, that's 115. So that means 65 is that missing angle. So your G would equal 65. That is not connecting at all. They want you to find X. You can draw the picture, look at the markings, but you should see that S, the last letter, matches with W, so those are congruent. Well, I can find S using that J. The middle letter goes with G, so G would have 45 as well. And now you can find the missing third angle of S. 45 and 50 is 95. Subtract that from 180. That gives you 85. So 85, or sorry, my 16x plus 15 is equal to the 85. That is the angle. And then you're just solving for X. On 8 through 18, that's your purple foldable. Don't forget to mark known facts still. So if I was looking at 8, you're going to use your 5 ways of proving, which is side, side, side. Oh, it's already up there. So here I have an angle. That's an A. I have a tick mark. That's a side. I have another angle. That's an A. So this answer was ASA. 10. Do you see what needs to be marked in the diagram? No, we don't have a midpoint. A shared side. The shared side is right here, the diagonal. You need to put a tick mark there. So which of the 5 ways is this showing? Say that again. Yeah, angle, angle, side. On 12, they give you arrows. If you see the arrows, you have to mark the alternate interangles. So there's 2, because we have double arrows. So what else are you going to mark here? Before that. We just said, if you see arrows, you mark what? Alternate interangles. Where are the other pair? Yeah, just on the opposite side. So double arc here and a double arc. Now, yes, you mark your shared side. So there's your tick mark. So this could have 2 answers. If I looked at using the double tick mark, which is a side right here, then I would have angle, angle side. If I want to use the shared side here, then it's angle, side, angle. So you could have more than one answer, depending on your markings. Now, when you get to this section, they want to know what additional information is needed. We have to prove by SSS. The thing they tell us is those 2 sides are going to go AB and DE. So you put a tick mark there. They also tell you side CB and FE are congruent. So on there, CB and FE, you're going to have to put 2 tick marks. Okay. So I have basically just two sides. I need three. So where's the third marking need to go? Yes, AC is congruent to DF. Very good. There. Right? So you're list the missing information, the additional information needed. So like on 15, if I look here, I have an angle, A and D congruent. How do I show that on the diagram? Arc. So an arc at A, same arc at D. Done. They also say right here, side CA is congruent to FD. What do you put there? Tick mark. Okay, so between C and A, I put a tick mark. Between FD, tick mark. They want you to prove by side angle side. If I look right now, I have an angle. That's my A, and I have a side. That's one of my S's. I don't care which one you pick. You have one of the S's. So you're missing an additional what? You're missing an additional side. So where would that side have to go so that it matches with our pattern? Yeah, AB has to be congruent to DE. That is what's needed to have side angle side. So like if they want me to do ASA, I went ahead and I saw, okay, right angle, that's an A. Acute angle right here, that's an A. What part is, I went and checked those off. So what's needed? The S. Where would that have to be? Yep, it has to be in between the arcs. If it's ASA, that means that's an arc, then a tick mark, then an arc. Okay. We wrote that on the purple foldable. So on 17, we want AAS. So there's an A. So I have one A. Tick marks show me a side. So there's my S. I'm missing the next A. The answers can vary here. If you go over here to J and G, that would still work. You would have angle, then an angle, then a side. You could have done alternate interior, another set. So the answers can vary sometimes. All right, then the last, well, the second to last section is proving congruent triangles. This means you have to start off with marking your given information. What needs to be placed on AB and AD if they're congruent? Tick mark, all right, put a tick mark between A and B and A and D. Then if you look at the next given information, it says right here, BC is congruent to DC. Double tick mark, good. Double tick mark, double tick mark. Then we're gonna mark any known fact. The shared side, right in the middle, 3 tick marks. So would these triangles be congruent? Yes, by SSS. So this is what I'm checking. I'm checking your markings, checking your blanks. So make sure the order's listed correct. If I say triangle CAB, okay, CAB, this would have to be CAD. Very good. So on 20, here is the given. NC parallel to RO. Arrow and an arrow to show parallel. If you have parallel, then you mark also what? Alternate interior. So my alternate interior, my parallel goes to the transversal. That would be the shared side. So it would have to be here and then there. Opposite sides of that shared side. All right, then they also say NC is congruent to RO. Well, NC, tick mark, RO, tick mark. And then we have a shared side, double tick marks. Which of the 5 ways are these triangles congruent? Based on our markings. It is a side. It is an angle. It is a side. Yes, it's SAS. So, if I say N to C to O, then it has to be ORN. All right, one more in this section. So make sure you understand what bisects means, especially if we're bisecting an angle. TK is bisecting the angle HKC. How do I show bisects? Or what does it mean to bisect something? Cut in half, split in half. So if it splits in half, we got 2 equal parts. So I'm going to split the angle HKC. If you're not sure, you can trace the letters HKC and stop at the middle letter. So I'm going to put an arc right here at K. There's showing bisects. Then we also have angle CTK. Again, C to T to K. Stop at the middle letter. There's your T. Put a double arc there. It's congruent to HTK. Double letter. All right. Now we also have, hopefully you see, the shared side. Which of the 5 ways are these 2 triangles congruent? Yep, ASA, angle side angle. There's an A. The tick marks a side. There's another A. All right, so if I say HTK, then it has to be congruent to, yep, CTK. Order matters. All right, so then the last little section is CPCPC and proofs. So if we look over here, this was our 4.6, 4.7 notes. This first one is just a fact you have to remember. To use CPCTC to prove an angle or side, you first prove congruent triangles. That is true. You have to always prove congruent triangles first before you can even say CPCTC. So we're going to practice that on 28. They tell me right off the bat that H is a midpoint of EK. I find the segment EK. I want to show that H is the midpoint. How do I show that? Very good. Tick marks between E and H and H and K. There's that one. I said it's also a midpoint for FJ. So show it for FJ, guys. What we just did, we got to do it again. So now you have to put double tick marks. All right. Any known facts we can mark? Yep, the vertical angles. So now, hopefully we see side, angle, side. So I can say these 2 triangles, EHF, is congruent to triangle KHJ by side, angle, side. Because I did that, made that statement, you can now show that the 2 sides are congruent. So I can show that EF, segment EF or side EF, is congruent to JK, and I can show it now by saying CPCTC. And then our last section is filling in proofs. You're definitely going to see 2 of these. One, where it's part of it filled in, you fill in the missing statements. So one would be, I guess you could say open-ended, and the other one would be a multiple choice. Okay, well, you have answer choices for each statement or word bank. So if I was doing 29, always in the first line is the given as our reason. If we write it, we have to mark it, and it's already marked first. They put the tick mark between SU and TV. All right. There's no other given, so now we need to try known facts. Anything we know on this diagram that we can mark. There's a shared side. TU is a shared side. So how would I write my statement here for a shared side? Yep, TU is congruent to TU. And what reason would I write for shared sides? Reflexive. You can abbreviate. All right. Our reason on line 3 says HL. Well, this is true because opposite the right angle is the H. Right there, there's a tick mark. And over here, yep, H tick mark. And the other one is the leg. So now I can say that these two triangles, STU, is congruent to triangle VUT by HL. And what has to go on the last line? Always.
True.
What we're trying to prove. Yeah, what we're trying to prove always is on the last line. So I'll just copy that and for ST is congruent to UV. Okay, so test is tomorrow. I will post a key, like the answers, just so you check your understanding on Teams.